Progress.
Okay.
And then they give us,
Okay, yeah,
Right,
that's pretty
exactly.
standard, isn't it?
Yeah, very
and
standard.
that's what we have.
Processes every year, is that correct?
Well, if someone would like to apply,
Assistance,
Yes,
person,
yes.
the town,
We voted Anna to be the
Right,
our
so-
administrator.
does re-up every year with the state somewhere along the way?
oh, gotcha. Well, we re-up our ordinance to be in compliance with the new numbers. But the program is just kind of a program that's run through the towns, and so it's kind of continuous.
Okay, okay, and you're basing it basically on the, the broader parameters that the state lays out, and then you are allowed, if I understand, to make some adjustments, on a local need to have basis, perhaps?
No, the state writes this long
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
as you can
the
see,
tone,
of guidelines.
It's very rigid.
Yeah,
okay,
How many cases did we have last year?
we had 3 in the past 12 months that we
Okay.
paid money to.
actually, that's pretty good.
It's very
Yeah.
strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good, that's interesting. It's good to
But
know.
we do send people to the food bank.
Right,
Sure,
we get
of
other
course,
calls
sure.
Yeah,
that
stuff
aren't,
like that.
yeah, that don't qualify that.
yeah, you have other avenues that you
Right.
can possibly help them into.
And the
Right.
date,
That's good.
the state does come in and audit they try to do it every 3 years. They're behind because of COVID.
Yeah, okay. And when they audit, they're basically looking at the cases that you've had and how you dealt with them and how you interfaced with their criteria and stuff.
Correct, yeah, to make sure we're in compliance with
Yeah,
the program.
And also-
this.
We were just audited this week.
well, good for you. So you're good for another 3 years or God knows what happens, right?
And also they look at the implementation too, so they go out and make sure that the posting is visible as far as how people apply for GA, et
Okay,
cetera.
okay. And you're pretty common with the
Great.
locations are here in
Yeah,
the store and
printed out.
the post office
I
or
think
wherever.
Just the coverage of this.
Yeah, it's out on the bulletin board here,
Yeah,
so, yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And it's all very confidential, like,
Oh,
when
of
I pay
course,
bills, I don't
absolutely.
know who the recipient, who it was for,
Right.
I know who I'm paying.
Right, right. Yeah, well, that's good. So that basically goes sort of through you?
Right,
Okay, yeah.
right, and Bob is the
Right,
backup if whatever was
cool. Interesting.
available.
No pledge of allegiance?
We will.
Oh.
We just, we had
at
a
the
public meeting,
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
I had to hit
scheduled.
That 7:10, I had to hit that.
okay.
Is there any substantive changes to anything in the GA ordinance this year?
They, there are some slight adjustments on that main appendix, but they did a revision of the big book that was just here. There it is. Last year, and so it's just minor for this.
Okay.
The numbers are probably slightly different, aren't they?
Yeah, slightly
Yeah.
different numbers.
You passed me the one that's up there.
Yes.
This is mine. I don't know if it's the latest.
I think it's,
Yes.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think we
Like I said,
printed
we've
out.
got to be careful because there's that supplement that has to be kept in efficiently.
Yes,
Yeah, and I think the supplement is in there, Carrie.
It wasn't, that's the one that I printed out, so.
this one.
Is that the same as the one I just gave you? See, I know, because I messed up
Oh, the staple.
that's the, yeah, that's the
full
full
one.
newest one, so.
Okay,
Okay, is that
okay.
it?
Yeah, I guess we should, I can move
Okay.
that we accept the updates to the general assistance ordinance as suggested by
Second,
the students program.
and vote. 2-0.
Thank you.
I move that we come out of the public hearing at 7:16.
Second,
Okay, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Where's Roger? Roger, the other guy.
He's in Europe.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Mike Wenzel, Lee Dunn, and I met with FEMA and MEMA on the May storm. I was gonna do introduction. And we need to, we've gone through the warrants, so I know the total of each equipment and man hours. But now what we have to do is look at each road and the points where the damage was. We have to go through, measure those points and figure out, yeah, how much dirt was put into it. And each, each truck that was used and equipment was used. That's the next thing. We have to give it a GSI point. So that we'll be working, Mike and I will work on it probably Thursday and Friday.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's just, in order to get that money, that we have to do that.
The next couple of weeks, that's what I got to go through with, and not quite to that extent, because it was so huge, the 2017 storm. I have 27 pages of stuff I have to go through.
Again?
When you
This is
deal-
third time.
when you deal with FEMA, that's what you have to do, and that's why Lee, when he does his warrants now, he puts down where he worked, and that's gonna help us as we go along. Yeah, Larry, you know Anna,
I didn't, but I do now.
okay, and
I know
Carrie,
Carrie, and I know Barbara.
I'm owner fast.
Own a fence,
Yep.
okay?
she ran against me for selectman.
Who's that person?
Tina.
Tina,
Tina,
she's our administrative aide,
okay, thank you. And I'm Larry Bacon,
Larry Bacon.
and I'm very new to this whole process. So if I don't quite follow protocol, feel free to speak up and say, no, you need to do this or that.
No, it's basically a selectmen's meeting, so we do our thing and we allow people to talk at certain points. We should go through this fairly quickly.
Okay.
We don't have a major thing. The rat problem at the community center, I've caught only one in the last week.
Oh,
So
nice. Woo-hoo.
Wow.
that doesn't mean too much, but
Truly.
we did the public hearing, LP tanks, all the LP tanks have been exchanged to the Augusta fuel.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it might look even better because the heating plant at the fire station will be a LP gas boiler. So that means we won't be using oil at that, and it will be at $1.90.
That's
So
great.
that's even better. And we will be pushing for an LP boiler at the community center. Because
So do we have any idea what the savings are and what this little slush fund that's gonna be created with all these
Not yet.
savings?
Well, there won't be a savings when we have to buy a new furnace for the community
Right.
center.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is MMA brought it up, that the furnace is sitting right on the floor. Every time it gets wet, it's bad. You've got an oil tank sitting in the cellar, getting wet whenever the water comes in. Good point.
Hmm.
But we'll talk to the community center about it.
Just a point of interest, Augusta Fuel is a little bit different where I have to have the location of all the tanks whenever they deliver. They are printing it at the bottom of each of their,
Oh,
and we'll
good.
have a whole bunch of invoices next
Good.
week. So they are, and they have the community center as 2 Belgrade Road.
Oh,
Mm.
It's like, Okay, I can
Change
deal with
it.
it.
Close
No,
enough.
no.
Are you gonna leave
I
it?
can deal with it.
Okay,
The rescue barn is 6 Belgrade Road and the fire department is 7 or 9, so.
Yeah.
it's like, we'll leave it,
yeah. Okay.
just so you know.
Okay, we did the abatements.
Mhm.
Um,
This goes to
Billy.
Heather. So,
we did the quick claim deed. Okay, Desert Pond Road. Okay, Cobussy Watershed got a grant for the Cobussy, no, for Torsi Lake. And it's for anything that would cause contamination of the lake.
Mhm.
So they saw Lee working on the Desert Pond Road, that big culvert at the bottom of the hill.
By the boat landing.
Landing.
Mhm.
So they asked Lee how much it was gonna cost to do that, and he figured about 20,000.
Mhm.
So they agreed to pay 60% of that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yay.
So that's $11,000. So we need to sign, I need to sign a contract with Cobussy. And all the legal jargon is met with, I didn't have any problem with it, and Lee didn't have any problem with it. The big thing is, it needs to be taken care of for 10 years, which he's gonna take care of it
Mhm.
anyway.
Mhm.
So if you don't have any problem with it, I would make a motion that we sign a contract with Cobussy Watershed District for the Desert Pond Road culvert at the boat launch.
Second.
Discussion.
Question. The 40% that we have to pay?
Yep.
Was that already in our, is that,
Yes,
that's gonna be covered by our,
that's our regular budget.
okay,
So you're not gonna have to pay 20,000 out of the regular budget now.
okay.
So what this means is, as soon as the work is done and he is paid, then we'll send a copy of the bill. It's in here, what you have to do. To Cobussy, and they'll send you a check. Okay,
Okay, so we pay the whole thing and then get the money back.
Yeah.
Lee was planning on doing it anyway,
Yep.
and that was in his budget.
right. And today is the 25th,
Mhm.
just testing. Who needs that? You need a copy of that. And
I need a copy.
you need a copy. I can get that. Anyway.
You can just leave it in the orange folder.
Oh, I'm gonna sign that anyway.
There you go.
Who has to sign it?
Anna.
Oh.
In that orange thing.
Oh, something else.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the minutes are in there. Did you sign,
I did.
did you
Anna
sign
did.
the appointment?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
Keeping me straight.
No, you don't have to, she doesn't have to sign the policy thing.
Okay. There you go.
Can you get me a copy of the policy?
Yes, I'll do it after, yeah, okay, because I gotta get the meeting, I'm gonna cut it as well.
That is
That's
the,
not-
just the,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I have some boring stuff here, but if you, Barbara,
Oh, go through your boring stuff. My stuff is not boring.
hold on.
I just have some possible things here. What is the status of executive sessions for the select board? Are those public record?
Nope.
Okay, so how is that information disseminated via a FOIA?
It's not.
No,
You can't request executive session?
nope.
It's not.
It's usually employee records or
They're
No.
very specific. We can't just go into an executive session willy-nilly. There are specific.
five-
Oh, I
items.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but if an executive session has been called for a reason, okay?
Yep.
Can a person, get a FOIA request for the outcome?
only if a decision was made.
Oh.
And that's
Okay.
not in an executive session, that's made in the public meeting.
When you come out
Okay.
of the executive session and a decision is made, then that is public.
Right.
I
But
see.
not-
There's no, right, there's
Okay.
no
Not the background
decision made in an
information.
executive session whatsoever. It all has to be made in public, but the discussion is what
Gotcha.
happens in the executive
Gotcha.
session.
Okay, so it's pretty good to assume then that post-executive session, there would be an outcome period that was created in the public meeting that would then become public information?
Yeah, generally, we don't have decisions.
Yeah, and that doesn't, and it depends, if it's a personnel matter, I mean, that's not something that we would,
Yeah, it's meetings with lawyers, it's meetings
right,
on
I have a
employees.
list. Yeah.
Okay, what about town issues? Town.
The only town issues that would be an executive session is if we had to bring the attorney in to discuss it.
Okay.
The town
okay,
issues,
that makes
that's
sense.
not on the
Cannot be-
list.
Okay,
No,
Yeah.
an issue relating to town affairs
No,
cannot be in executive session.
and any clerk with her salt would tell the select board you can't do that.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, and I don't know, Tina, do you remember when, the Hubby Loose Road discussion had come to a close? And there was actual documentation that gave you guys the thought that it was done and done.
Well,
Right, that
it wasn't done and done. We got an opinion from MMA saying, if you want to take this any further, you better get your town attorney in on it. And I said, no, we're not gonna spend money, town money, on these private people's dispute.
Well,
Simple matter.
when a road is closed though, there's usually a registered quitclaim deed that goes from the town back to the landowner for that area that is involved, or was involved and had been called, quote unquote, a town road. And that was never registered with the state. You guys, as a
No.
town, never
The
registered.
one,
the
yeah, the one
closure?
that I found wasn't the one that we were talking about. It was a different road. Yeah, so I have never found anything on that.
No, I got together with both parties. I talked with both of them and they were both cordial. They both said that they would work things out. I was
I
with the
just-
dogs.
yeah, I
The
just
dogs
wonder
were
about the
fine.
going forward protocols, because there's just a buttload of these issues
Oh, yeah.
floating around all over the place.
The state is at a point where they have started a commission
Mhm,
to study abandoned roads
Okay,
issues. Now,
okay.
if they come to a point where they're gonna force towns to deal with abandoned roads, that's gonna cost towns a lot of money.
Hmm. I mean, there is a protocol though that is supposed to be observed in the closure of roads.
Correct.
Yeah, and so if that was adhered to and followed, then there should be a record somewhere of that procedure.
Well, roads are considered abandoned after, 30 years?
I think it's 30
That you
30
haven't
years?
touched them.
yeah,
Right, but what does that do for the landowner? You see, the landowner needs to find a new set of boundaries.
Yeah.
And that boundary has to bear on the old existence of the road.
yeah.
And the town has
right.
to have protocols that they need to follow to acknowledge that. And so how expensive is it for the town to simply say, we've acknowledged that, and record it once and for all, so that there's no more problem down the road.
It's expensive.
Expensive survey.
Well.
Yeah.
For the property owners.
Yeah.
Right. But for the town can, I think, can't the town actually produce a document?
No,
We have to go, well, if we can't find it at the Kennebec Registry of Deeds, the likelihood of finding it here, it's pretty, I mean, that's what I've been doing, is cleaning files, finding deeds and stuff. And
Okay.
it would be a miracle.
I think what Ona's saying is the town giving the landowners a quick claim deed to,
no,
Oh, and
You
an
can't-
abandoned road, it just
you can't do that.
reverts, it just reverts back halfway
Yeah.
through the road, it just reverts back to either
Yeah.
owner.
and we can't give a quick claim deed without a survey because
Right.
you have to
Right.
have the specific
Right,
boundaries,
right.
so.
But now a road closure is different,
Yeah.
because then we would follow certain protocols, we would have public hearings, it would be a vote at the town. It's a whole big production, but an abandoned road.
Right.
It
It's all-
just reverts back halfway through the road, it just reverts back to.
Right.
Well, I'm just trying to understand what the difference is between abandoned and closed. Closed is abandoned, it's
well,
done,
if
so
the
is
town
that,
closes the road, they go to a town meeting.
Yeah.
And they vote. Okay,
don't you think we should do something like that though, going forward, understanding that these issues need to be, somebody needs to dot an I, cross a T, and wouldn't that be a productive thing to finalize? Because I mean, then you take all the guesswork out of your side of things and their side of things, and they would feel more comfortable saying, all right, well, this is agreed upon, everybody's voted on it, all right, it's a closed road, now I know that I can go have a survey done.
then if you try to close the road,
After it's
people
been
that
abandoned.
live on that
Yeah.
piece, that have land on it, are gonna everybody up and vote at the town meeting. They're gonna give their sob story and try to make sure that that does not pass.
Right, because then their services are gone, they
Right.
get no more plowing, they get no more dirt, they get no more calcium, they get nothing from this.
Well, the point is that this road is already maintained up to a certain point, is it not? Do the landowners that are residents there?
No,
We know where it is,
no,
probably loose.
If it's a private road.
There's a
it shouldn't
bunch.
happen.
there's a bunch, and people are moving, right now, people are moving into these roads that have been abandoned. And it's becoming a problem, because every time they move in, that road is not in good shape,
Mhm,
because then they come to us and say,
mhm,
can you fix these roads? Well, we say, sorry.
mhm.
If the road
Yeah.
hasn't been worked on for 30 years, it's not the town's
Yeah, it is.
responsibility anymore.
So, I mean, we're really struggling to try to figure out where one point ends and another point begins.
It's not, it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
problem with
Big
Maine.
grade.
And you'd like to fix the road, but that means the rest of the town has to do that. Do they really want to?
Well, I mean, yeah, but if it's a private road, okay, well, how did it become a private road? When did it become a private road? And if it is a private road, when did it get that way? And you can create a road association based on a private road.
Well, sure, it's like if you had 30 acres and you had enough road frontage, you gave it to your daughter, your son, or whatever, you're splitting it, every time you're splitting, you're getting that extra. And after so many houses are on a road, it's considered a road and it's considered private until the town takes it over. And again, that's a process.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah, and that's, I'm sure that somebody's
You know,
thinking,
many of these abandoned roads became abandoned because of, I'm sure, the typhoid and some of these big flu epidemics that hit Mount Vernon in the mid 1850s or something like that. Whole sections of town were
Abandoned.
more
lost.
lots.
You go over Car Hill, that whole section going down the backside into Vienna, that's all gone. The Bog Road,
Mhm.
there's a lot of sections in Mount Vernon that's gone.
Collecting taxes on that land?
Oh, sure.
Well, that doesn't seem.
Not on the,
Well-
not on the road itself. We
Right.
Not on the
lose
road.
taxes.
If they're
But
smart,
people
they have
who
it
are
in
not
Woodland.
receiving any benefit, only punishment for still living there, doesn't seem right.
They don't live, the thing is, the roads if the road is abandoned because nobody's living on it, nobody's living on it.
Okay,
There's no house there,
but they're still paying taxes on the
woodland,
land.
woodland,
Woodland.
which is nothing.
So how many,
Especially if
how
you
many
put it in
houses are
woodland.
now on Honey Loose that have moved in to the area now that is considered to be
Just that one.
the new guy?
And he doesn't want anybody else,
What do you mean?
really.
What do
So
you
he
mean?
doesn't want to improve that. He doesn't want the road improved.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is that there is a point at which this whole thing began. And it began because somebody started influencing the trail access.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was no longer road, it was trail access. And once somebody started impeding on the trail access, that's when, you know, the proverbial, you know what, hit the fan, and everybody started saying, wait a minute here, you know, how can this person impede on a foot traffic horse trail on this property? You know, so how has that been resolved?
Well, it's more than I want to get involved here tonight, but it's something, I don't think the town should be getting into it. It's something that the landowners need to be able to work it out. And from what, talking with them, it seems like they can work it out.
Okay. Yeah, okay, all right, move on there. All right, I'm done.
I just wanted to introduce a couple of thoughts for future discussion. I know we've done a speed limit study here in the village
Yeah,
at the foot of Belgrade Road. We have a real problem on Belgrade Road. It is just frightening. We have a lot of bicycle people, we have a lot of walkers, and you can post a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, but it's more like 65. It's crazy. And I watched as a large dump truck honked at somebody who immediately just, I mean, practically took a belly dive off the road. That is very intimidating.
yeah,
It's not just a matter of letting you know of my existence, because we already know of your existence because we can hear the rumble. We really need to take a look at the speed limit there.
okay,
Possibly come up with some speed mitigation designs, like they did with Townsend Road in Augusta is a good example. They put in medians.
Yeah.
You don't have to plow a median. And it slowed it down. It slowed it down. I'm not saying that's the answer or the only answer, but I really think we need to look into that.
Larry, we got state police to sit at the barn. And they caught, I think, 3 people going 70 miles an hour
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
in one afternoon.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I sat in my front yard one Saturday, one weekday rather, and I had to leave for 3 hours. Except for those 3 hours, we had 125 sand trucks. I thought about writing a letter to the editor with the headline, Belgrade sand pits moving to Mount Vernon. But, you know, I'm a newcomer.
I wonder where they were going.
They were coming to Mount Vernon.
They were already filling hours up.
I don't know. I just know that all these trucks went by rumbling around, you know, through the neighborhood, and people were, you know, practically belly flopping, you know, out off the road to get away from them. And if I'm sensitive to the blowing of horns because I ride a scooter.
Yeah,
Please don't beep at me. It scares the petunias out of me. Anyway, what I guess I want to say is, I think we need some kind of speed study at the top of the hill. And then, look into wider ranged, remediation for it. Whether it's, I know speed humps have a problem, but, a speed study and possibly, little plantings in the middle of the road. To kind of, that kind of squeeze the roadbed so that it isn't a speed situation. It's just really, really
Okay, I'll
scary.
tell you what we're doing.
Uh-huh.
And we know this problem several spots. We've asked the DOT for a, one of these speed signs. You've seen them on the roads.
Oh,
As you approach them, it says your speed.
yeah,
and
right,
says slow
okay, I
down.
got you.
Now, even when they're off, they're still recording your speed. And so you can give that information to the state police
Yeah,
and they can tell at that location how many are speeding.
Yeah.
So it records a history. So if we get it, it's supposed to be this fall that we get it. This will
I think
help.
it's working its way around, isn't it?
Yeah, we can move it all over the place. That's one thing.
okay. Like I say, I'm not here to say, that one answer is the answer, but I think we need to study it.
Yeah.
Because it is frightening.
And we can't change the speeds. Okay, the state sets the speed.
Okay, all right,
We can ask DOT to look at it.
all right.
And if we had that sign, that would help give a,
Well, I just wanted to introduce the thought about this
Yeah.
because
no, I
it
know
it
that
needs to
speed,
be
yeah.
done. It really does. The other thing I wanted to ask about is the possibility of putting a Sharps container next to the public phone on the fire department, on the fire station. My neighbor down the road, Erica Spiata, something like that. Anyway, she had her Girl Scouts picking up trash along Belgrade Road. And the girls found hypodermic needles.
Hmm.
And if we could have, something put in the newsletter and have a Sharps container on the building, because it's, basically if it's only on the outside, then it's open 24 hours a day. But I think people need to understand, you can't be throwing hypodermic needles out your car window.
No, the people that are doing it aren't thinking that.
Well, it needs
They're
to
doing
be
things that
brought
aren't
to their
legal.
attention that this is not an appropriate way to do it.
That's
But
good. That's a
you
good
have to
one.
give them an alternative.
That's a good one.
And the idea of putting it on the share shed or something at the dump isn't good enough because it's only open a couple days a week.
That's a good one.
So that's what I had. Like I say, I may be a newcomer to Mount Vernon, but my ancestors have been here since the founding.
No, that's good. We can work on that. That's,
Okay, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are, a whole bunch of issues and, impediments that we have to jump through. But I just wanted to introduce it.
So friends, can I go live?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. So, we probably want to be careful about Coca-Cola. It's very addictive.
Coca-Cola is, it is. Yeah, I switched from Pepsi to Coke about 20 years ago.
When I was in grade school, we
Please
put,
start, because I've got a lot to do here. Are we on record?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I've got some documents that I'm gonna pass on to you that to be part of the public record here. Okay. So, I'm gonna read through my statement. This is addressed to you on the board, but also to the public listening.
Yep.
So, because not everybody knows me, I'm Barbara Scapper, resident and citizen known locally as the Cheese Lady, and the lady who rescues and adopts out poodles. 18 years now. I'm here today to present my findings about a case that dates back 6 months. This is a preamble. Some of the information I'm talking about and presenting to you today, I obtained from FOA, Freedom of Information, Freedom of Access Act, which allows US citizens, that's you, me, and everybody,
to see the contents of files maintained on us by government, big, medium, and small, like the one we have right here. If we suspect we're being ignored, maligned, misjudged, discriminated against, or just plain curious. This is something I have learned over the last 6 months ordeal about losing Poodle Muna. And pass on to Mount Vernon people, do not let government walk all over you and get away with it. Use SCOA. I'm going to be talking in my presentation about the about state, and by the state I mean the Department of Animal Welfare within the Department of Agriculture, Forestation, and Conservation. There's also, when you hear that, that's what I'm talking about. The other entity you'll hear is the Attorney General's office, which called me this afternoon and asked me to ask you a certain question, which I will get to you in a little bit. Okay, so this is the story. On March 22nd, my birthday, tragedy struck when 50-pound Poodle Muna leapt over fencing, collapsed by heavy snow, and was killed by German Shepherd bitch of about 120 pounds on a public road near my house. Said dog has since left town, to which you will all be very relieved. I and my neighbors found her bleeding to death on Gerhardt's property, which is the McMansion at the bottom of the hill here in town, opposite Matt Dunn's house. She was rushed to the ER vet. Her major arteries were so damaged they could not save her. Imagine how I felt and still do. What happened next is why I'm here today. The next day, I asked the local ACO, Animal Control Officer Johnson, to inquire, which he did, which consisted of him asking the neighbor of the dog if his dogs were comparable. Not so, said the neighbor. That was the end of the ACO's inquiry. It reminds me of a 30 where a guy is holding a gun in front of his garage, in front of a dead body. He says, well, not my problem. He showed up at my house wearing Crocs with snow on the ground. He did not examine the area on the Minnehaha Camp Road where Muna was attacked, even though a camera recorded it. He did not even realize that the cameras around Gerhardt's property recorded the attack, that there was a blood trail from all the way down to Gerhardt's house. My neighbors and I followed it all the way down. Did the ACO do that? No. Did he inquire about the past history of the attacking dog that she had attacked before? No. Did he research the white German Shepherd breed? No. It was banned by Hitler for being defective. Let that sink in a bit. By Hitler, who was a huge fan of German Shepherds, as I'm sure anybody over 30 knows. Why was that? Because to achieve a white coat, you require a recessive gene, and it's used in the breeding. That breeding leads to aggression in a breed already known for aggression. Gerhard had two of them. Did the ACO talk with the neighbors? No. Did he put on boots and walk Gerhardt's perimeter and notice large footprints in the snow along it and outside and where the attack took place? No. Did he ask if I or neighbor George Smith heard Muna's cry of agony when she was attacked yards from our houses? No. Did he offer to examine forensically the sleeping bag upon which Muna lay on the way to and back from the emergency vet? It has blood and long white hairs on it. DNA would have identified that as white German Shepherds. Why? Poodles do not shed. The bag is in my barn, awaiting investigation. None has come. Did he, after talking with Gerhardt, come back to talk with me? No, never, still has not. Did he take any photos? No. Did he interview Mikey Smith, Linda Fish, and me about the blood trail? No. Did he write up a full documented report? No. Shortly thereafter, as I agonized over this event and asked Gerhard to repay the vet expenses for Mooner's euthanasia, which of course he refused, Grenier decided to quote, unquote, investigate the incident. Did self-appointed investigator Grenier address any of the above questions? No. But 2 weeks later, on April 7th, according to an email I obtained again through FOA, Exhibit 1, go back to here. To town lawyer Meta, he sought her advice on quote, what action we should take, if any. We, quote, presumably being the board. Meta responded by email on April 10th. Exhibit 2. I notice how quickly you grab. Proposing several steps and statute section 3952, including helping the ACO, quote, formally document his findings and even offering her help in doing that, which sounds like helping a nearly illiterate ACO properly write, and already taking sides against citizen Barbara. You can read and decide from her comments yourself. You get the impression that all Grenier and Libby and Rogers wanted was this case to go. In that same email, Meter offers Grenier to discuss this matter in executive session, and mentioning she spoke with him by phone, presumably a few days prior. There is no record of that phone. She cites a statute that requires presence by telephone or electronic. So at this point is when the Attorney General called me today. And she said she wanted you to answer this question, these questions, several of them. Did you have an executive session on April 6, 2023?
Nope.
No. Well, that's interesting.
And I didn't have a phone call with her.
Okay. Did the board have a session, an executive session on April 6th? Or 7th, or anytime?
We had an
On
executive
this issue.
session, it was not
Minutes.
on the dog. We may have had an executive session, but it was not on that.
All right, that she would like to know, Tina, because if you did have an executive session, she wants to know what was the motion?
Yeah.
That was the motion put under.
Yeah.
That's important, because you were talking
Yes.
about this earlier, very important. All right, let her work on it.
I believe April 6th, we were talking about a personnel issue, so.
Yeah, we
that
did have
should be-
one. Yeah, but that was an executive session for a personnel issue
On what date,
on April 10th
and what was the motion for?
for a personnel issue.
Yeah,
April
that,
10th?
okay, yeah, that was a person.
That was a personnel issue,
Office. Personnel.
personnel, yeah.
So the motion on it would have been under paragraph A.
It
There are
would,
two ways
are you
that
looking, are you
you
looking
can
for?
call for a session.
She wants a statute.
Yeah,
First one and
it's 14,
second.
it's 1405.
Good.
Parentheses 6
Okay.
E,
April 10th,
yes,
okay. So there's no written record of that session?
Can't be.
there can't be,
Okay,
I love.
right, and all right, good.
But if there were any decisions made, it would be recorded
Right, no.
Well, I know.
when you come out. But when they
The
come out.
next
they make a
day- Right, it
decision,
would be- right,
has
it
to
would be in
voted
here.
on record.
The next day, I received an email from Grenier, Exhibit 3. Exhibit 3.
Yeah.
In which he states, with a copy to Meter, that there is no clear proof of what occurred, that's the quote unquote, i.e. the dog attacked, i.e. that the dog attack occurred, and advising me to pursue the matter with the sheriff if so desired. At this point, the board treated me and still does with utter disdain and with disrespect, even though I'm a senior citizen and a valuable member of this community. Grenier did not even have the decency to call me personally and directly on the phone on behalf of the board directly. He just emailed. So where is this report that Grenier based his decision upon this incident? Self-appointed report. What is the basis for the decision that the dog attack had not occurred? Okay. Even the state wants to know according to their investigation, because during this, I'm gonna skip a little bit here, so it doesn't bore you to death. At one point, I got so fed up with the way that you people were ignoring me and the issue of a dangerous dog in town, that I decided to leap over you and ask the state to intervene. And we pulled together a dossier. By June, it went into the hopper at Animal Welfare, i.e. the state, asking them to look into this problem. They did. It has taken them 3 whole months to get back to me on their findings and to get back to the Board of Selectmen on their findings to them. The letter to me is here,
September 12th.
it's September 4th. Exhibit 4 to Ms. Scapa, in which the state does, well, I'm not gonna read you this whole letter, but it's very alarming. Because number one, it says the ACO is basically totally incompetent and has to go to ACO school. Number two, it really said they had, quote, concerns with the investigative process employed by the town and with the documentation produced in the course of the investigation. Basically, the state saying, where's the report of the investigation by the town? That's the question I'm asking you today. There we go.
Well, they said that they were unhappy with the quality of the investigation,
Meaning,
and they said that it doesn't, they do not believe that it impacts the above conclusions. They said, yes, the ACO needs to have more training, and they are willing to work with him whenever he needs help. Now, he has worked 2 major cases. He's working one right now. I can't talk about them. And I talked with the state, and they felt this one that he did last summer, they felt he did a very good
I'm
job.
not here to talk about
So-
those, Bob. I'm here to talk
You're-
about the Muna
But
case.
you're defacing him.
I'm not
I'm
defacing him, I'm
saying
telling you exactly what the
He
state
does do
found.
a good job. So, you know, I'm defending him.
Not sure I agree with that. I applaud Barbara's strength of commitment to her animal and to the process that was or was not, my opinion is, was not followed. I personally witnessed Barbara just dissolving in tears.
Oh, I do too.
It was a horrible situation.
Yeah.
And I say that because I also had some contact with the code animal control officer. Thank you. Because I called him about an issue that I was witnessing. And he never went across the street to look at the animal. He went down to my neighbor's house. It was all kind of happy and discussed and never shared with me. I came here to register my car and I spoke to Carrie and I said, may I have a brief friendly word with you? It really upset me to see the animal suffering. I meant no malice by jumping over the landowners and calling the animal control officer. His handling of it was very poor.
You should have called me.
It was very poor. Well, I mean, it's no secret that I have a problem with my neighbor. And which is why I asked Carrie, who I'm, I guess, not supposed to contact because of the court. We've had 3 court cases. I really, truly meant no malice. My concern was for the animal, which is why I brought it up to Carrie. I would have gone to her husband but for the fact he jumps from any contact 60 miles an hour to outrage. And so I didn't want to make it worse, but I do want to say that
Larry, I'm going to
code-
stop you there for a minute because what I will say and what I told you when you were
Yeah,
here
I know.
is the ACO came over and yes, it was a very elderly sheep. We have secondhand sheep
Yeah.
who we did end up putting down.
Let's get
The
back to
the
you.
vet
Yeah, I
came
don't
because it was
wanna
euthanasia. So I
sidetrack
think
this.
Let's get back to Barbara.
Yes, I don't want to
So
sidetrack this.
the ACO did investigate and we showed him the vet records and that was that.
Well,
So-
it was his lack of sharing the information with me. It was like, it felt like it was just schmoozed over. And, it bothered me because even though I'm not a dog owner, I'm not a sheep owner, any animal suffering the way I witnessed this animal suffering, it just tugs at my heart. I'm sorry.
No, you should talk to us.
Okay.
That's-
I have a
Barbara?
comment on this for Barbara, on Barbara's behalf here. And that is that the outcome of this whole conversation doesn't necessarily need to be a personal issue per se, as much as it is that the methods that were or not employed, okay, did not have the appropriate outcome that it should have had, and apparently this person is capable of doing a better job and didn't. And so the whole bottom line is, going forward, what can the citizenry expect from a disaster should it happen, when it happens? And the fact that if we have a ineffective animal control officer, it doesn't fall on you necessarily for you to pick up the mantle and to do his job. Okay, it's you that are supposed to be overseeing his job and make sure that he does it. And you have protocols of investigatory types, okay, and how it should be done and what it should be done. And basically, it's your job to keep his feet to the fire on an issue that concerns an unresolved issue with a citizen and their animal.
And I'm saying he's had some major cases and he's done a wonderful job.
Well, this seems to me to be
And he
in that respect.
probably dropped the ball on Barbara's. And that's what they said in the state letter.
Well, so what is your recourse for him having dropped the ball? I mean,
He's going to do some more training.
well, that doesn't give her any hope in the future.
No,
Lord. Really? Because that's the best we can do?
what else do you want? I'm not gonna fire him.
I want
He's done a
this-
great job. So. I
Well,
don't know
either
what-
he didn't do a good job or you didn't do a
I
good
don't
job,
know what
Bob.
Barbara wants.
Neither,
neither one
let
of
me
us-
speak,
neither one of
neither
us
of
did.
you and Roger, who's not here, did a good job. It's not just you,
I know.
it's you, Anna.
And I apologize for that. I know we weren't
I-
sensitive to
I
your
will
needs.
take that in writing, thank you.
And I do. I apologize for not being sensitive to you. I saw you at the post office shortly after Mona died. And I heard that she died and was killed. And I came up to you and I said, I'm really sorry to hear that, because I know people mean a lot to you. You may not remember it, but I remember saying that to you.
This is somehow to tell me that what a wonderful guy you are, that you know what you're doing. Let me just get to the bottom of this, because this is
Okay, go ahead.
getting out of control. What I want to happen from here is several things. The whole issue about this is bad governance. This was badly handled from day one. And by the way, I had 3 advisors on this case. 2 of them are former select people, and one's a retired lawyer. They have looked through this entire document. They looked through my entire argument, even though I've been stopped here from speaking entirely, and they do not like what happened. One of them said, my God, how shoddy this case was. And I think you just acknowledged that.
Well, I'm sorry, it's the way it happened, it's done, it's over with.
No, it's not,
No.
because there's room for improvement.
Well, that's what we're working on. Eric is
Okay,
gonna
I have
do
a few
that.
Suggestions.
We're not town managers. We have never been trained as a manager.
That's
right?
right.
And I am pushing for a town manager, and that's one of the reasons.
That person wouldn't be any more
difference
effective.
whatsoever.
No,
You
No,
can argue
you're wrong there.
no, I'm not really, because we have the ability to
Let's
pursue
continue.
government.
We're getting way behind
Sure.
and
No, I'm on the same
We have things to
wavelength
go.
as she is.
Yeah.
We need transparency. We need a way for people like me who are not happy with something that the town did can get back to you and have a hearing and be heard and have something done. That, because it didn't happen before, I had to leap over you and go to the state and even the Attorney General's office.
that's fine.
And the state comes back to the town and says, we have concerns about you people. You should jump up and take notice and just say, well, RUCO is going to go to school.
Yeah.
No, you need more.
Barbara, so let me just ask, going forward, would it help? Is it appropriate, and I'm asking both Bob and Anna and Barbara here, and Larry, would it be appropriate to ask the ACO to do a follow-up, just, here's what I found, blah, blah, blah?
That is something I was proposing in my
Just a
conclusion
follow-up.
was, if the town really was sincere about trying to improve our methodology and the relationship with the public on this particular issue, reopen the case of the Muna attack. Have a third party take a look at it. It can be done by the Humane Society. It can be done very quickly.
We
Reopen
asked-
it so that it's put to bed. And we can all move on.
Call the sheriff department,
No, don't be silly.
ask a third party, call the sheriff.
You call them.
They do
You
investigations.
call. You just said you're in charge.
I don't do investigations.
That's exactly my point. And that's
Okay.
the point that the state came up with in that letter to you, that you are not an investigative entity.
Correct.
And yet you investigated the case.
And I think one of the things that
So this is
we're
the
learning from
problem
this
here
is
with-
that maybe as a follow-up, Eric asked the selectmen even to just say, yes, this was investigated, and so it's not just that,
Defensive. I don't see
well,
what we have to
no.
do.
no, not just this case, but going forward. So if Eric is called, if I call Eric and say, geez, so-and-so is beating their dog, and so he goes down and should there be, I'm asking, should there be a follow-up to me as the person who was concerned, saying, I went down and everything's fine, or I went
The
down, I
Yes.
lady
referred
that
this to
wrote
the
this
state.
letter,
Yes,
I talked with her.
Mhm.
She said,
this is another case.
anytime that Eric has a problem writing something up, he is to call her
Mhm.
and she will help him out. I shouldn't have to get involved.
That's right.
No, but
So
I wonder if what Carrie's bringing up is just like a policy of
Yeah.
some sort of
so that we have,
checkbox.
so I'm not sitting there thinking, oh my God, that person's beating their dog and nobody even went there.
Mhm.
So there should be, if I call and make a complaint, I should have some kind of closure that,
Mhm.
yes, we went down and we found the dog dead. Or yes, we went down and everything is fine. Not the specifics, because then that's intruded in my,
don't
In that
have animal
person's
control
space.
ordinance.
I don't know what's in there, but what I'm saying is just out of a good person. If I call and I'm worried about something or concerned, there should be a follow-up to just say that I went there.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it, or it's referred to the
Mhm.
state, just so I know that he actually did go there.
Mhm.
And then if he's not doing that,
Yeah.
maybe it's something that we should ask that
It
he
would have
does
made
that.
me
It's
feel
funny
better.
that no other animal control officer was ever asked to do that.
That's
Now
right.
all of a sudden,
Never,
Really?
no.
nobody ever, ever.
It would have made me feel better. I saw the ACO
Well, that doesn't mean it can't happen.
No,
walk
Yeah.
immediately
It's
down to
happening
the
now.
farm,
Okay.
talked to David, got back in his truck and left.
Hmm.
I didn't know any resolution
Same here. The
and I
migrate.
was worried
Never heard from him
Yeah.
again.
that it was just being brushed under the rug.
No, because then I had to get back to him with vet records and
Mm,
stuff, so.
I think
But-
one of the recommendations I'm making on all this is that we need an ombudsman in this town.
a what?
Ombudsman. Explain to him what an ombudsman is.
An ombudsman is somebody that will look into health issues, complaints, things of that nature
We
that,
have a health officer.
right, but look up ombudsman.
And
Do you know what
town
an
manager would do
ombudsman is,
that.
Anna?
That's what the town manager would do.
Well, yes, but
Sort of
the
an
whole,
independent
I know.
What you read?
well, the point is, okay, is that there are things I think we can create that are improvements that would be good follow through for, community interface. Because people need to know, first of all, that the guy's doing his job. And if he's not, something needs to be done about it. And the other thing is that your knee-jerk reaction to his anecdote was, well, you should have called me. Okay, now I want to know, what are you gonna do?
I will get a hold of Eric. Who
Okay,
supervises the ACO? Who supervises the health officer? Who
who does that?
supervises the transfer station people?
Who does that? The select board.
Right.
Okay, so as a whole, okay, as a 3-member team,
Yeah.
okay, would that issue be delegated among the 3 of you to find a solution?
Yeah, whoever got the call. If he
And
happens
that's
to,
unclear. I called Anna, I'm sure you remember Anna on this case. I never even heard back from her.
Okay,
I mean,
it's obvious that there's a lack of communication that is important and necessary, and that there is a performance deficit with a animal control officer that needs to be addressed, because not every call that he gets is going to be of this devastating nature, but when there is something of this devastating nature,
Yeah,
the community needs to have the security of knowing that this person will
yeah.
take the entirety of the event and make it a priority.
Or to quote the
Okay.
immortal Paul
we
Newman,
need to move on.
we have a problem here in community.
I will work on it.
I mean, look
Okay.
at the immediate neighborhood.
Hmm,
And what if it had been a child at the beach?
hmm.
My God, it could have been
Exactly.
even more devastating
Yeah.
that it was a human being that got injured.
Okay, how are we doing? Is that,
What do you mean?
He said he's going to look into it and he's going to encourage Eric to do his classes.
Oh, good. Are you gonna try to reopen the case?
no,
Are you? What are you gonna do?
I don't think we should reopen, Barbara. I guess what do you want out of a reopening?
I didn't come
That's like-
here to make trouble or anything, but I think she deserves better as a taxpayer and a person in this, of longstanding in this community. She deserves better.
we understand that the complainant is unhappy with the quality of the investigation and the outcome of this matter. However, the AWP does not believe that impacts the above conclusion in concerning the 3950A complaint.
Well, you'll have to take it up with the state. If that's
That's right.
where you
which we
went with
did,
it.
Which we did. And which apparently,
I didn't come
Robert,
here
anyway,
to
it's not
advocate for
interesting.
anybody. But I do stand for what is plain and simple right.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
thank you.
mhm. And there's always room for improvement. There's always a way to make a tweak here and a tweak there that fits and suits the community
Yep.
and their need to know and feel secure, because an animal control officer is not a fluff position. They're in control of a lot of,
Well,
um,
yeah, it's hard to get them.
And I think too, and I didn't realize that I think it's a policy that we want to consider. If I call up the animal control officer because I'm really worried about people's safety or other animals' safety, there should be just at least an acknowledgement back
mhm.
that, yeah, I did go down and check it out. And maybe that should come, instead of putting Eric in funny positions, maybe it should be through the selectmen or something, but there should be a little bit of a follow-up.
That's where an ombudsman comes in.
Yeah, and I'm not saying at this point, I'm not saying that it should be a big definitive, because you can get into legalities and everything. But if I call and say the man down the road is beating his dog, I should get an acknowledgement back that I did go check on it. And I wouldn't expect him to say, yeah, and I'm going to keep my eye on the bastard because he's gonna keep doing it, but it just
Right.
something that, so I know that my concern was taken
Acknowledged,
seriously
everybody's
and
fair.
actually somebody really did look at it. And I'm sorry that that's not something that ACOs have been asked to do, because I think it's kind of the right thing.
It is the right thing. I mean, I was shocked because I got a call back from the attorneys at DOT over Matt Dunn's issue, to tell me that they had gone and talked with him and yada, yada, yada. And I just went, wow. And thank you for following up. There was totally, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But it was closure at best,
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if the community could be served a little better by being able to recognize what actually constitutes a tragedy and what doesn't.
And
I think you've got an excellent example of what the tragedy was.
Well, that's the thing, but I mean, who's looking at it and who's making that decision? We need to figure this out.
But there's a whole lot more involved in the tragedy, and I'm not addressing that. I don't want to add more things to Eric, but at the same time, I do think it's just kind of common decency to go back and have a follow-up. And even if it's just a note, yes, I did take a look at this, just so I know that somebody took me seriously, but
Well, it's pretty much time. It's the end of the meeting. Okay, so when you're saying you're gonna work on it, it would be interesting to have some follow-up here on what
Next
you
meeting.
propose.
Yep, next meeting.
Okay, cool. Good, I mean, an apology beyond, maybe what you've done would be something that a decent person might do.
Will that satisfy the state?
They,
I don't think the state's relevant for that question, is it?
Oh, okay. Well, I just know you said you went to the state.
No, that's different,
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
Now a legal mind.
Well, okay, all right, I guess you're back and listening to me.
Are those my coffee powder?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
policies?
Going to home, I haven't done anything.
We'll do that.
They'll do the same.
Yeah.
I have to go to the physical therapist
I'm
tomorrow.
still
get
working.
punched around.
Much as I don't like it, I still have to do this. So I have to go to sleep and get up early, which is unnatural at my age.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for letting me know.
Well, come-
Good night, Mr. Bailey.
Anytime. We
Okay,
have a
bye, guys.
building
Okay.
permit that needs $10. I guess, I don't know. He said this has to be turned into him, Bill,
Butler?
tomorrow. For the antenna,
Oh, That's
Sometimes-
Jason?
Yeah,
I think you're supposed to vote on, Jason said you guys had to vote on it tonight.
no, we just said we would do it.
Oh.
I just want to make sure he can start the antenna.
Oh, you put in $10
Yeah.
for it. Okay, that's,
He wasn't gonna get it on the warrant. That's-
okay, I bet Jason was trying to
Yeah.
think of that.
No, I didn't
Okay.
tell him, there's no way, Jose.
I could be bought, but you know. Okay, do you want me to put this on Bill's,
Yes,
Bill's desk? Because he will be in tomorrow. so.
Yeah. hope so.
Okay, I'm just reopening the
1 and 2, I
one
think you
and
said.
two, yes. So to continue our policy work,
Did you redo the 2 that we approved last week, 2 weeks ago? You probably didn't know you had to.
I didn't, did you approve policies last week?
We did 2 last
we
week.
did.
We did 15
Mhm.
and 5 and 9.
So you didn't do 8.
No.
I couldn't hear it.
and
ringing.
14.
Mhm.
They haven't had copies.
You don't have
I
copies?
don't recall doing that last,
We
I
can
don't recall doing
email-
that at last meeting.
They were
we
just
email it
minor
to-
changes, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
minor, yeah,
If we email it to you,
yeah, I'll email it to you, Tina.
How come I don't have that in my notes?
I don't know, you should have it. You should have gotten an email.
15, 5 and 1.
Hmm.
Last time?
No,
See? I think so, let me see,
15,
14. 15. And
I was pretty sure you guys actually closed that out and made the
Spoken of.
notes.
no,
We did
oh, and 9.
16,
Mhm.
9.
They were
Oh,
minor, they
gifts.
were minor,
Yeah.
yeah, gifts. Salt sand shed.
Yeah.
Road,
One that really needs it is the one nobody wants to touch. it.
Right, something's at the last. I want to sign something.
I thought starting with some success would
We want
just
to-
forward carry.
I didn't have votes, 5/9, 5/14, 5/15. I don't have any votes. I don't have anything else on those.
Wow.
Yeah, they
I
do.
just have the things. I have no votes.
No votes?
But you did do
I
that.
think, didn't we?
You
Yeah.
did, yes, you
Was
did.
I
mean,
have to get up for
No,
something?
because
Maybe to make
Carl was here.
copies.
Oh, maybe I had to get up and make
About it.
copies. All right, I'll read them.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe
yes.
I'll re-listen, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I couldn't hear what they were voting on, but I could see them vote.
And then I just do everything. Okay.
And I really just wanted to go to bed at
All
that
right,
point.
so I have them right here, so I will pull them and have you sign them.
Beautiful.
Okay. And
Did
when-
you got the revisions, Tina? I mean, they were minor.
Well, what I did was I just went online and.
Oh,
printed-
accepted
Oh.
the new ones? Okay,
So chapter
chapter
1,
1 is advertising.
yeah, the only one I wanted to add to that is there should be no campaigning.
Yes,
in-
good suggestion. Where should we add that in?
Okay, hold on, 1.8.
Yeah, that first paragraph.
Oh, under
1.1.
1.1.
Yeah, that last sentence, you can just stick it in there anywhere.
What do you
Okay.
wanted to say?
No campaigning.
Does that include issues also, or just political? Person campaigning.
No political campaign.
No political or,
Okay, because I think you want to not allow things on ballot questions and,
yeah.
Well, that's a state, that's a
Yeah,
state law. and
Yeah.
That's, they make that rule.
yeah, we wouldn't have that
we
anyway.
can take advertising for a vote yes or no on CMP or something.
You wouldn't put that in. the
I mean, if
newsletter?
somebody came and wanted us to,
To put it in the newsletter? No.
we want to,
No,
Oh,
yeah.
well, Carl was adamant that we don't put anything that's not community in the newsletter, so
Right.
I'm trying to be really careful.
Yeah,
Just like I, by the end of the week or by tomorrow, if you guys could look at that one email I sent you.
Oh, for a letter.
No,
No.
the
Oh, a
other one.
different
Oh,
one.
for the,
for the shirt.
something of life,
Oh,
Yeah, because that was a point of contention last newsletter.
we put Pat Rossins in there.
No, not that. I'm talking about the
Right.
church, the church newsletter.
Church newsletter.
The one
Oh.
that was a point of contention last
oh,
month
oh, 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 oh,
that I got lots of emails on from you guys.
gotcha.
Yes, thank you. And Bob's not sure, but I
just saying yes.
just shake your head, yes.
Okay, my suggestion
say
on
much.
1.1 is to put in, we will not accept personal political campaign or ballot question ads.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, then that was my question. Do we want to add the religious portion of it?
What does that involve? Times of service or?
No, because we have that church thing in the back of it.
Yeah, but if a church is having an event or something,
Yeah, fun fair.
Right, but what I'm saying in the newsletter, though, for advertising is if they're sending me something like the last, I don't want to see it,
Yeah,
like the last newsletter, is that something that I'm to say yay or nay on myself?
put it to the selectmen
Okay.
and they'll have to,
I just missing out much what I'm thinking.
Oh, well, please.
well, we're being broadcast somewhere now.
Are we? still-
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that shouldn't be in.
it's not connected because I need to type that.
Oh,
but it's
gotcha.
still
Okay,
being,
I
like, recorded and.
Still-
I understand.
So
Oh.
that just that portion that we were discussing with Paul and everybody else.
Maybe like no, what's the word I'm looking for?
Proselytizing.
Yes, thank you.
That's a good one.
How do you
I can
spell
almost
that?
say it, but I can't spell it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Make it so everybody understands.
Yeah,
Just to make it clear and it's, because
Yeah.
we don't want to have to do a
Fifth
case by
grade
case.
average. Writing.
Proselytizing.
People will know
Yes.
what that is. Hopefully they can Google that.
No preaching.
I could put that, could I put
Yeah.
that in parentheses?
Mhm.
Preaching though is.
I know,
It's
it's
tender.
Yeah.
You want
That's why I had to put
Yeah,
it out loud.
and then people are gonna go.
Yeah.
So maybe what you can do, like when you do ad copy, you put a little, thing proselytizing, you can sort of put a little thing as to explain real briefly what that means,
Yeah, that's something.
But
that's up to you
Okay,
guys,
good
or
for that.
otherwise we'll
Yep.
just do it on a case by case basis.
So I
Okay.
move that we accept the advertising policy, chapter 1, as amended.
Second.
Vote. 2-0. Chapter 2,
I'm just.
no issue.
Come back for the vote.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, we approve as is.
Mhm.
That was easy.
That was an easy
What
one.
was the
Oh, I
other?
just need to change Carl's name. Come on.
She just said one or two. We're done.
I thought there was one more.
I thought there was two. Hold on, I gotta open my email. Oh, 16, the smoking,
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one.
but that one we just did,
Yeah.
like last year, so.
Yeah. Okay, so
Actually,
chapter
I have a
2,
question.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't we combine 2 and smoking, 2 and 16? Alcohol, drugs and smoking.
Oh, that's a good point, Barry.
Is smoking defined?
It is
we have a
very
separate-
defined, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
very
We have
long policy.
Oh, yeah,
Alcohol, drugs and smoking.
it was given to us so that we can get some money.
We got
The
$2,000
smoking
or
policy
something.
is number 16 this year. The actual smoking policy.
But that would be the
Smoking,
same.
Vaping, I mean, do
No,
you have a perimeter
Let's
that
keep 'em
is
separate.
a
You
smoke-free
want it
zone?
separate?
yeah, keep them separate.
Oh, what is smoke-free zone? Yes, so it's very detailed.
Oh, yeah,
You
Okay,
may
but I
peruse
mean, is
at
it
your leisure.
posted
yeah,
on the outside of the building?
yeah, all our buildings have these green signs.
Oh, I just found
Yes,
some more, they're up in
Some more
here.
up there,
Yeah,
yep,
So what's the penalty?
25 feet, you get banned from the town of Mount Vernon.
You can run out over a rail.
Yep.
Oh, God, that's not worth it for a smoke.
I think it's much more, um,
Detail?
it's much more intimidating than the, oh, I would rather bring a glass of wine into here than bring a cigarette
Oh,
into
my
here.
God.
So we approved, chapter 2,
Mhm,
alcohol, drug policy,
as it is.
2-0.
mhm.
And the smoke policy, I vote that we approve that as written,
That's number 16, right?
Mhm.
16. Vote, 2-0.
Okay. What's the perimeter? Is it 20, 25 feet? That's what I thought.
Mhm.
Okay, so, who's gonna be the one to report Bill Smith?
Oh, Smith? No. Oh, gee, did he go out there and smoke?
He does.
Oh,
He keeps the doors, he's letting them, I'm just teasing. But.
And here he misses our smoking policy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he wasn't here, I
You were
knew.
supposed to tell us about it.
He knew it was this one.
I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah.
I am absolutely gonna tell him.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm a recovering smoker, so, but I mean, it's been 40 years.
What's smoking?
No,
Oh.
no, non-smoking. I spent a good period of time smoking. And then I quit and it's been like 40 years. So. And then asthma set in, so I mean, that was off the table no matter what. Nothing gets inhaled except an inhaler.
Actually, I used to love a good drink, but after I went through chemo, it destroyed my liver.
Yeah,
I'm an Irishman that can't even drink.
yes.
What?
So I can't alcohol anymore either. It's like, oh my God, I've entered into this new category of life. Do without.
Heather got a nasty letter from the state, Moses,
Mhm.
about her being late on payments. Is it for BMV?
No, that Moses was IF and W. Once a month.
So is she really late? Submitted within 5 days of the reporting period. This must be the 15th of the month. Is she getting them to you late?
Well, that means she, depending on where our meetings fall,
Days of the reporting
it may
period.
not fall. She may not have the report done if we have a meeting on the 2nd,
Okay, I'll give these guys a call.
and we wouldn't get the next one until the 16th, which is after the 15th.
Right.
This one here, July, they didn't get it until August, though. July, they didn't receive it. August 23rd. They should have gotten the July one, they should have gotten it by the end of the month. Is that something that just slipped by maybe?
I don't know, because I put them on the warrants as soon as I get them.
Okay. I think that's all I have. We did policies. Animal control, I will check
Coming up.
animal control and that's over there. Grab it. Oh, George's Shack. I will check again with Ron.
Mhm.
He spoke, he was in with the Farmington Fair last week, so I didn't want to bother him. He's supposed to donate wood for the shack
Mm, right.
transfer station.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not all that well,
Mhm.
so I don't know if he can do it. So I'll hit him again. If he can't, I'd like permission to price out wood,
Mhm.
and another way is price out the shack that's not pre-done, but it's a package from, say, Lowe's.
that
Cause I
goes
can get
together.
5% off or something.
I also have an email from someone on the beach committee about lumber for picnic tables.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So maybe we could do some pricing of,
The
all
beach
at
committee
once.
at least does have money in
yeah,
its
there's
budget
some
for
money in the
that.
budget.
Oh, what are you gonna do about heat for George?
What's that?
What are you gonna do about heat for George?
I'll give him one of those little heaters, space heaters, like they have in the,
So we need another propane tank, or how's he gonna get?
I may even have one of those.
Oh, you're just a home propane tank?
Yeah.
Okay,
He just has to have it outside. That's all approved by Jason.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I had both of them hanging around. So, picnic table.
So there wasn't any community involvement with the picnic table? Situation, there wasn't any outreach to, local contractors
I haven't talked
to
to
see if they have any leftover lumber they'd like to donate?
I've been out straight 2 weeks.
Okay.
And this week is gonna be another one of those out weeks, looks like. With looking at FEMA,
Mhm.
and I'll try to whack out that animal control somehow. There shouldn't be any problem. Eric should just write up something every time. He probably is, but
Mhm.
let's see.
They
We should,
publish
you know,
already.
we've had such trouble with animal control.
I know.
They never do their jobs. He's been the one case that we've had. And, you know, Heather's real happy with it.
Yeah.
He's the one case where he's even going after people.
Mhm.
He's giving
To register for
citations.
dogs and, yeah.
We've never had that in the past.
Well, how did her
Yeah.
situation manage to slip through the cracks? I mean,
What's
you
that?
know, Barbara's, I mean, that slipped through the cracks in a
I
big
don't
way,
think
it
it's
seems.
appropriate to discuss,
No.
right?
Oh, okay, oh, I'm sorry,
No.
that's all right, but anyway, okay.
But
He, the thing is, he's doing a very good job in a lot of ways, and it's not that what he did was bad as far as not getting back in the situation, in the examples that I was trying to give, but it's just kind of, it makes people feel better if they know that
yeah,
their complaint, and I think it would be good for all of us to do. I think I'm not always
Yeah.
good about that. So
Yeah.
letting people know, oh yeah, I got that.
Yep.
Versus I got an email for somebody, and if I did what they asked,
and I'm hearing from
Right,
people
sometimes you're
saying,
like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
passed on and.
guy's showing up. I
Conversation.
didn't figure he would show up.
yeah,
So I'm getting that.
yeah,
It's a nasty job. It really is. It's,
oh yeah.
And once you lose an ACO, it's hard to get another one.
oh my God, we're just so lucky.
Yeah,
All right, I'm printing these out. I've just got to get them dated, the date on here, and then you guys can sign.
Now what are we signing?
I think the
policies
policies.
that you approve.
These policies.
Oh, okay. Okay, now, we want to know MMA's inspection,
On the communities.
nothing at the transfer station,
Okay,
nothing at the library.
oh, great.
Now, that's not necessarily good.
Oh.
At the transfer station, they're waiting for the engineer's report for the
For the
shed.
chat,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Fire station. There was a set of fluorescent bulbs that need to be covered,
okay.
and there's the side of the building where we had the engineer look at it. It
Mhm.
looks like it got hit by maybe a snow plow or something.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be done right off. They're gonna have to raise money for it. So that's all for them. Rescue, they had 4 bulbs that need to be covered. I had 3, so I gave those to them. Rescue, they also needed a rail to go downstairs and then upstairs. And they had a mess. That's where they keep all of their wheelchairs and all that stuff.
Oh,
For wellness.
yeah,
I don't know what they're gonna do.
that's hard to
I gotta make it look good.
Fake that. Yeah.
Now, community center is bad. This here is gonna be easy. We just have to re-support. They have a couple of temporary lolly columns. And they're going like this.
Oh,
In the
goodness.
basement,
Yeah.
by the kitchen or somewhere else?
Right in the middle of the floor.
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness.
Wow.
I think there were a lot of
Fixing
people in
that.
there for a long time.
The furnace, I already talked about that.
mhm,
Really look at it down. If not this year, sometimes, not next year, sometime down.
mhm,
Then all the trees on the side of the building,
mhm,
never noticed that. But they're saying, you gotta do something about that.
mhm.
If you look at it, those trees go up and then they're right on the roof.
Hmm.
They're sitting on the roof.
Really?
So
I
I
just
talked with,
picture it so low.
yeah, they're right on the roof. So I talked with, is it Jan? Next door,
Judy?
Oh.
Judy. And she said, if you take them down, I don't care.
Mhm,
So I'll have to talk to Bill and see what we can do.
mhm.
Those trees should come out of there, because they're just, they're right on the building.
Hmm.
You know? I don't know, it's close to the lake.
And they're on their
Or-
other side of the
Well,
property.
it's so
line, or-
close,
or hard
it's
to say.
really,
Yeah. Yeah,
town office, trash downstairs, we're working on
we're
that.
working on that. Cleanup
Next week,
day,
right?
Saturday.
Trees on the building,
Saturday.
Mhm.
same problem, right over here on the side, I've taken down some of it. And, oh, I think I got a piece of metal that can fit in between there, right here on the side of the building,
Mhm.
so, not bad, actually.
Yeah,
Weren't they gonna do, the non-slip paint too for the community center steps?
Hoping to get Mike to do that, because I'm just getting swamped.
Mike,
I was gonna go down and get some paint with,
Sam,
sand in it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to get Mike to do it,
Mike,
Wenzel,
okay,
he's been helping out.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Which steps need it?
The front stairs,
They
But
can
go
get slippery
in.
when they're
Oh.
wet.
oh god, there's,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, someone's gonna go flying down those stairs.
How's the ramp? That doesn't get slippery when it's wet.
Well, that's got that stuff on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, close to,
Yeah.
but yeah, away from it, it probably should too, but really the front stairs are,
Okay,
but that ramp needs to have something across it.
What about some shingles?
Well, or, yeah.
well,
you might be able-
They're easy application.
Well,
that's what we used out at the music camp.
Yeah.
However, the only thing is that we'll make the wood rot under
right,
the,
that's what I would say, yeah. I would worry about that.
yeah.
But
'Cause nobody's slipping, but eventually their foot goes down through the board.
if there's snow on the roof
Okay,
though,
yeah.
Mhm.
you need to block that ramp off.
Mhm.
That's what they were saying.
Hmm.
So
Slides
just a
down
chain
very
across it or
quick.
something,
What slides down pretty much as soon as it gets up there.
when that comes down.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, but still.
But
you
once
gotta-
it's down,
you
you
gotta-
gotta shovel it and reopen the ramp.
Okay, I have 1,
The guy won't
two,
shovel it.
9,
If there's snow on the roof, he won't shovel it.
14,
And I said,
15,
no.
and 16.
Yep.
What am I missing? Who am I missing?
You got them all.
I got 9, 14, and 15 from the last meeting. You did 1, 2, and 16 today,
And 5. I
and
think.
5. I'm putting that one too.
Well, it's a pretty simple thing to get some deck paint and just, they have additives that you can throw in it.
Yep.
I did that in my shop in Belgrade and it worked so effectively that sometimes I even tripped because I wasn't prepared. Cause your foot just kind of goes, stops.
Like patches on it.
Yeah, yeah, you're just not going anywhere.
Add sand to regular paint.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can do that.
It's a little
Instead of buying
coarser
it.
though, and it tends to release from the paint sooner than the additive.
Oh.
The additive is much finer.
Yeah.
And it covers
It
better.
does a good job.
Yeah,
Add sugar to paint.
Sugar,
well, then you've got everything licking on your stairs.
yeah.
You'd have everything in the neighborhood wanting to eat your stairs.
Well, that would bring all the rats out from underneath, and you
Wouldn't
wouldn't
that
have
be
to
good?
trap them there.
We did some good stuff there.
Mm.
Thank you guys for sending the quick claims and
Thanks for grabbing those.
We done?
Good.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I think she might be printing one
Oh.
more policy to sign. Then we
they
can
need to
adjourn.
sign that on. Okay.
Bob, do you want me to look into the Sharps box thing?
Yeah.
Will that be helpful?
Yeah, I don't know if rescue, we did that, I don't,
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm not sure.
I would think they would be able to, for sure.
Leslie's getting off.
What?
August is her last
Really?
date of her license, so she.
What's she gonna do with
I
this?
can't even, I can't compute that.
She said, well, Pat,
She's missing her pal, yeah, yeah. Get that, it's hard.
One of the things that if we put a Sharps box in, you're gonna have to go through who's going to take care
So
Yeah.
liability and maintenance.
Here's 16.
definitely need to. talk
And then
to,
what I'll do, I'm not gonna do it tonight.
uh,
Anytime you guys.
Health officer about that. too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do some.
Yeah.
Some
Investigatory.
yes, some research.
Are we supposed to do that?
So I did update this book.
Okay,
We have 1 through 32, so they're gonna be in order. So as you guys sign them,
Oh.
I will then scan them. Word document, and then there'll be a PDF of the same that shows that we signed it, when we did it, and then I'm gonna put logical order, so it'll be in the 2023 tab once I get all this done. That will, so we'll know, we'll be able to keep track every year, we'll know which ones we have to do it.
we have to really work because we have 16 more policies we can make to fill that folder.
yeah, we can do it.
Tina, what was the outcome of that software that was going to be applied to the road stuff? You said you were gonna check with Manchester and see if they were still using it.
I got the spreadsheet, it's an actual spreadsheet, I've given it to Ron LaRue, and he's all on top of it, and then the road committee in Manchester, when they meet, they're going to invite the Mount Vernon road committee over, so that they can just kind of see what they do.
Yeah.
Because they've gone from like a 7-man board, and I think they're down to 4. So they've cut them by quite a bit, but they're,
Well,
you know,
that's great.
yeah, they're willing to help out, and
Cool.
yeah, they're good.
Awesome.
So, yeah,
Are
any,
you gonna do the road committee meeting?
Um,
Next one's a big one because we're gonna do inspection of roads.
yeah,
Learn how to do it.
yeah.
We need you.
I don't know when that is. When is it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'll be there.
It's October. Road, 10th,
October 10th.
October 10th at 3:30,
Where are we meeting here?
right here.
Okay.
That's
Then we'll
yours.
go on.
Yeah, my question is, do we need to like file this somewhere?
Just put it in here.
Or maybe
Put it
just
in
in the
that
GA
Put it on my
file?
calendar, Bob, or,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see it. Okay, here we go. October
Are we ready?
11.
I make a motion to adjourn at 8:50.
8:52?
She's gone.
I don't think it's for us. Oh, did I get? This can.
Motion
Second,
to adjourn at 8:52.
8:52. Yeah.
seconded.
Vote 2-0.
It's
Night,
good.